Abe Eckstein says Breyer actually formally retired. He gave a 3-minute speech. That is amazing. You can find it on Town Hall's Twitter feed if you want to.
I would love to.
And then I'll do it right now.
Let's pull it up and
I've got it.
Let's play it. Let's listen.
I will share my screen here. All right. Thank you, Abe.
And considering whether or not to retire, I've considered this multi-part analysis, which I'd like to go through.
Yeah, right. Let me see here.
Hopefully, he didn't mention the. Anyways, we'll get into my Breyer disdain here. I'll try to be positive.
Your Breyer bit. Okay, so this is from an hour ago. Let me know if you guys can't hear this.
People have come to accept this Constitution, and they've come to accept the importance of a rule of law. And I want to make another point to them. I want to say, look, of course people don't agree, but we have a country that is based on human rights, democracy, and so forth. But I'll tell you what Lincoln thought, what Washington thought, and what people today still think. It's an experiment. It's an experiment. That's what they said. And Joanna paid each of our grandchildren a certain amount of money to memorize the Gettysburg Address. And the reason that what we want them to pick up there, and what I want those students to pick up, if I can remember the first 2 lines, is that 407 years ago, our fathers brought up, created upon this here a new country, a country that was dedicated to liberty and the proposition that all men are created equal. Conceived in liberty, those are his words, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. He meant women too. And we are now engaged in a great civil war to determine whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. See, those are the words I want to see.
Oh, he's quoting. He wasn't. Okay.
And that's what he
Okay, I was like, that's a bold statement, Breyer.
And I found some letters that George Washington wrote where he said the same thing. It's an experiment. That experiment existed then because even the liberals in Europe, you know, they're looking over here and they're saying it's a great idea in principle, but it'll never work. But we'll show them it does. That's what Washington thought. And that's what Lincoln thought. And that's what people still think today. And I say, well, I want you, and I'm talking to the students now. I say, I want you to pick just this up. It's an experiment that's still going on. And I'll tell you something. You know who will see whether that experiment works? It's you, my friend. It's you, Mr. High School student. It's you, Mr. College student. It's you, Mr. Law School students. It's us, but it's you.
Only the
It's
students.
that next generation.
Yes, because
the one after that.
Fucked.
My grandchildren and their children. They'll determine whether the experiment still works. And of course, I am an optimist, and I'm pretty sure it will. Does it surprise you that that's the thought that comes into my mind today? I don't know, but thank you.
Huh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was confused. I was confused there for a second.
Hold on, no, but regardless of whether or not he was talking about the Civil War or not, he chose the quote. And when you choose the quote, you need to be very careful about the words in the quote. And right now, that word is a very dicey word to be using. If that word came out of anybody on the right, that would be the first article. If Thomas said Civil War, this would be all over the mainstream media right now. It doesn't matter if he was quoting Lincoln. That is very interesting. I'm glad that we watched that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Abe, for sending that to me. Although the thing that's strange about it is, like, the whole time that I'm watching, I'm like, he just seems like a very jovial person, and yet he's talking about like Civil War. Like, it's a little bit strange, the juxtaposition of the two.
Well, he's jovial even when he's being mean. Like, you know, even when he's kind of, you know, going after people or attacking their position, like, he sounds like he's being jovial as he's kind of attacking points. I've noticed that, you know, in just his candor of speech. That's just the way he speaks.
Yeah. Like, he seems like he actually would be fun to have as a grandpa on, like, you know, Christmas Eve or on Thanksgiving. I don't know. Do you guys disagree? You guys
I definitely disagree. Yes. I definitely disagree. I would be fighting with him at Christmas and Thanksgiving all the time.
Because I feel like outside of law and politics, he seems like a very jovial person.
feel like he would be talking about law and politics all the time. I feel like you can't let it go.
Maybe I'm being too naive. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. He doesn't seem like Thomas, who kind of just totally lets it go in RVs around the country, like, you know, not really giving an F. You know, I mean, he seems like he probably thinks about it a lot more actively.